All right, so in section 10, we're dealing with square roots. So they've defined square root here. They also talk about the radical symbol, probably in your definitions for that section. And so I want to look at a few problems in this section. The first one is we're looking at evaluating the expression without using a calculator. So it says the opposite of the square root of 25. So we have to know what times what is 25. And hopefully we're going to come to the conclusion of 5. So then we would have -5 times -3 times 2 cubed. And so we have to make sure we use good order of operations, and we could evaluate from there. But that square root of 25 is 5, and then we had a negative out in front. Another one that's just a little bit more complex, a big order of operations problem. You have the 6 minus 3 times the square root of 9. So again, the square root of 9 just stands for a number, and that number is, you got it. So then we have 5 squared minus 6 minus 3 times root 9, and then we have to look at, well, what are we going to do first? Maybe we'll square this first, and then we'll subtract what's in parentheses, and then multiply by the square root of 9. So again, on these longer problems, just make sure you're following your order of operations, but the square root is just one additional step that you need to do. On some of these problems, they're asking us to calculate what this value is. So I don't know what times what equals 1,764, but I do have a calculator that will help me out. So if I said 1764, then my calculator, will tell me that's equivalent to 42. So this is a 42-inch TV. So using our technology to help us out, some of the larger numbers. And then we're looking at this formula that we talked about a little bit in the last section. So now we can actually evaluate for what the hypotenuse is. So we would plug in what A and B are into this equation, and hopefully we could figure out what C is. Lastly, again, to evaluate the square root, go do technology on these big numbers. If it's a number probably 12 squared or less, then you should be good. But make sure you are evaluating the square roots and using technology on those really large ones.